Okay, in this video, we're going to cover some fundamental job searching techniques that you may have thought of, but probably don't always practice. So this is stuff that is kind of the example I like to use is right in front of our face, but sometimes we fail to follow it, and I've been there. Trust me. So, like it says here, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. I think annually there is probably between 20 and as high as 40 million jobs listed every year online through all the different databases like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, career jobs. I mean, there is just a huge amount, and certainly there is overlap between the different databases, or the popular ones anyway. But that's a lot to look for. So you've got choices. You can certainly look online, like we just mentioned, but that's a big task, a tall order. You may get lucky, and you may find that job that you're looking for pretty straightforward. Your school can help, depending on the school that you came from. I know here at Western Tech, we have a career services, and they can help you look for job openings that are not just in the local market, but also nationally. And then, of course, my favorite is going to be the good old-fashioned knocking on doors, and we'll cover that a little bit later in the presentation. So I'm going to try to give you a few suggestions to show you where and probably more importantly how to look, because man, when you're sitting in front of your laptop on a Saturday morning trying to find the next job, at the beginning it's always like, wow, I'm going to find it, I'm going to get the perfect job, it's going to start me at this much per day or per hour, and I'm set. And then shortly after you start looking, it's almost an exercise in frustration. So I get it. You can be overwhelming. You're not finding the exact hits that you're looking for, and you don't have the qualifications, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. So we'll try to get past those frustrations and show you the where and, like I said, how to look. So yeah, for sure we're going to start online regardless, because while it may literally and figuratively looking for a needle in a digital haystack, it is worth doing, because there are a ton of great jobs out there. You just got to know how to connect to them. And I wish it was just as easy as sitting in front of your computer and looking and finding stuff day one. But as the saying goes, looking for a job is a job. So I'm sure you've heard that before. Well, okay, so the frustration here, the look on his face, trust me, I've been there. So we don't want you to be frustrated. You just have to be realistic and practical in your approach of looking online. So we start with those online job boards. And of course, we mentioned a few of them. There's Glassdoor, which is a very popular one. Indeed, probably one of the largest ones, if not the largest one. ZipRecruiter. They are a lot of online job boards. And LinkedIn, here's one that a lot of people, depending on what their background is, don't always look into, because they think this only applies to people in IT or in the business world. But nothing could be further from the truth. So I encourage you to check out LinkedIn, because even folks in the trade schools or in the trades have a big footprint. The employers do specifically, and they do look for talent and help on that board. It's kind of like a Facebook for the workplace. Of course, what's super important is that no matter which ones you choose, whether it's Indeed, LinkedIn, or some other job board, make sure you take a little bit of time to learn the search filters that are built into each of these platforms, because you may not want a full-time job. You may be looking for a part-time job, or you don't want to work what is it called, shift work, right? So you're a single parent, you've got to take care of your little ones late at night, so you certainly can't take a graveyard shift. So there are tons of filters that are built into it, but a lot of people, that when they start looking, they just automatically fill out those first two search boxes, the what and the where, like up here on Indeed, and don't take the time to learn how to use the other filters that are built into each of these platforms. So there are tons of YouTube videos on there. Later on, we will be making more videos to show you on some of the more popular ones how to make your searches less frustrating. And then, of course, there's good old Facebook or social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, probably even TikTok. There are people or employers that post jobs. They're looking for workers. They're trying to connect. And so these are also worth looking into. Specific to Facebook, I know people tend to have a positive and a negative experience about this platform. But suffice it to say, it is, as of this recording, still one of the largest, and has been for many years, places where individuals, organizations, and businesses will put a footprint on there. And part of that footprint is looking for new talent, new work. The thing about Facebook is there are tons of groups, right? So just like learning how to use the filters in your search databases, learn how to kind of navigate your way through all of the Facebook groups. And yes, there is a lot of spam and junk type groups where people are trying to sell you something. But you know the saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, so don't waste your time. But there are legitimate groups trying to connect people specific to a job area, whether it's heating and cooling, welding, truck driving, finance, business, management, customer service. There are probably a dozen groups in each of those categories, if not more. And while you need to be careful and just be attentive that you're not getting scammed, there are plenty of legitimate businesses that are looking for workers on the Facebook group. So take the time to navigate those waters. Of course, here's one of these. It's right in front of your face, but we don't always think about it. Is go direct to the company's website. And like it says here, it's often overlooked. A lot of websites will post their job needs, and don't think that all of them will be on Indeed or in ZipRecruiter or some of the other popular platforms. Some of these larger companies, especially the really large companies, will only use or advertise their job needs directly on their website. So you've got a trucking firm here in the background. You've got Blue Origin. There are plenty of companies that do that. And so find a company that is in the industry you're trying to get into and take the opportunity to just go direct to their website. And then you've got to go through their navigation. So here, Blue Origin makes it pretty easy. They've got an entire page or a set of pages dedicated to joining their team. So check out their career page. Take the time. And funny thing about specific to Blue Origin is that you may think, oh, they only hire engineers or scientists or astronauts. But no, they hire people that take care of their facilities. So who would that be? HVAC, AC, people that help maintain facilities. That could be welders, electricians. Of course, they need truck drivers. So large companies like this one, and there are many out there, will have different openings in all kinds of other categories. So you just got to do the looking. And another choice I mentioned earlier is your school's placement services. So most trade schools and colleges have a career placement office that will help you find job opportunities that maybe you couldn't come across them. You spent the whole day on Indeed searching and you got frustrated. Well, a lot of these companies here already are getting a hold of the schools directly or colleges and letting them know, hey, you know what, we need 4 IT technicians, or we're looking for 6 heating and cooling technicians. What do you have? And not even place their information on a Facebook group or on ZipRecruiter, but just go directly to the school. So ask your school, and even after you've graduated, I think most schools will offer you, I know we do, those services. So continue to call, even if you've been a year or two down the road. Say, hey, you know what, I'm not really happy at my current job. Is there any way that you guys can place me? So that is something that we offer, and again, most schools offer these kinds of career services. Also, those same schools, and ours for sure, have these career days, like what's pictured here in all these pictures, where employers will come out directly to the school and meet with you all as students in the school, as getting ready to graduate students, and as ex-students, graduates. And so it's a great place to network and start meeting with those companies. Now, one of my favorite methods that I mentioned earlier, and I know it's going to sound like, I don't want to do that, especially in this day and age. Most of us, our idea of communicating with one another is through a text, or worse, a set of emojis, right? How many times have you seen a couple, probably on a first date, and instead of looking each other in the eye and having a casual conversation or just texting. So yeah, it happens, but it may not be in your comfort zone, but I'm encouraging you. Good old fashioned knocking on doors of businesses that you think might be a cool place to work is still a very effective way of networking and meeting with people. And all you're going to do is when you go in there is by placing your face with your application, whether they're hiring or not. Now, I know that sounds silly because a lot of times when you walk in unannounced, you don't know if they're hiring or not. You're going to run into people that have this kind of a happy temperament, right? So I've been there. I know. I just say, hello, how are you? My name is Neftali. I'm a recent graduate of Western Technical College, and I'm actively looking for an entry-level position in heating and cooling. And of course, don't let the smirk on their faces put you off. You're just there. You're not there to ask to speak to the manager or the owner of the business. You're just there to put your face behind the name. And like in these two examples, try not to let their face make your face look like this, right? Look like you're happy to be there. What do I say? Kill them with kindness. Drop off a resume if you have one, and or your contact information. And then these folks, I promise you, yeah, I'll be honest, half the time they're going to just chuck the resume or your card or your contact info in the garbage. But the other half of the time, at the end of the day, a manager or business owner is going to walk up to them, ask them how their day was going. And if you happen to get them in a good moment, I probably should have put a picture here of a smiling receptionist, right? They may say, hey, you know what? I met this nice young man named Neftali. He said he graduated from the school down the street, and he was looking for work in heating and cooling. But I told him we weren't hiring. And he says, hey, let me see that application. And I'm telling you, now it sounds terrible, but there are a lot of businesses that are kind of not actively, but in their heads are looking for possible replacements for people that maybe are not working out too well at their company. So you really need to take advantage of that. Be that person that is smiling and as positive as you can be, and let them know that, hey, I'm not here to bother anyone. I don't want to talk to the manager. I just want to drop off my resume if you have a copy of it, and let you know that I am looking. And you'd be surprised. Again, half the time this person will, even with a smile, will probably chuck it in the garbage. But the other half, they'll hold on to it. And if you had a positive encounter there in just that moment, we'll let the boss know. Now, I know a lot of us won't be carrying resumes with us. You know, it's great if you do, but if you don't, there's a really cool way and kind of a different way of leaving your information. So if you go online to, I think there's Canva, there's Vistaprint, there's a ton of them out there. Print up a bunch of business cards with your information. Now, I know a lot of us think a business card is if I own a business, but no. Here, I don't know if you can see it, but I just listed myself as my name. I welder fabricator or an HVAC tech or an IT specialist or a nursing assistant, the city and state I live in, my contact number and email, right? On the back, here, you could put anything really, but I just put the name of the school I went to or graduated from, a list of my current certifications. And then this is the cool part. This little part is your QR code, and it's going to lead directly to a copy of your resume that's going to be online. So there are tons of free services out there where you can upload 2 or 3 documents for free. There's no monthly charge or any subscription, and that'll be your resume. So instead of carrying those resumes in your car or on your persons where they can get all crinkled up and torn or whatever, you just have a set of cool looking business cards. And you can put a picture that represents your industry, or now you can put a picture of your face on there if you think it's worthy of it, right? Just to catch attention. Because a cool card like that, and you'll buy a stack of nice premium cards. Don't be cheap. Get a nice stack of like 50 good, thick, quality, glossy cards. And it will kind of catch attention, if nothing else. And then that way, when you went to the office and just dropped your card off, not asking to bother anyone, and letting them know, hey, you know what? I am actively looking for work. I know you may not have any jobs posted, but I just want to, for what it's worth, just to let your manager know or your hiring office personnel know that I'm available. And then all of a sudden, this little card you carried in your wallet at all times, carry 2 or 3 of them, could land you a pretty cool opportunity to connect. And I know that firsthand because when I retired from my previous job, I always wanted to get into photography and filmmaking. And I'm not bragging or boasting. I was lucky. I made over $33,000 in 9 months just passing out these cards. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't at the door at Walmart just randomly passing them up. A lot of times I'd be at a coffee shop, and that's an actual picture of me sitting, editing pictures like this stuff I was doing. And I had somebody look over my shoulder and say, "Wow, what is that? An alien?" And of course, we started a conversation. And I told him this was in Phoenix. I just moved from El Paso, Texas, where I'd retired from a prior career. And we started a conversation. He was just looking over. I was working on my iPad, and I gave him my business card. And all of a sudden, I started booking all kinds of job opportunities from this little chance coffee opportunity. In fact, the gentleman that I was talking about is right here. His name is Peter. He runs a nonprofit foundation in Phoenix, Arizona, and we started a business relationship. And then I started working with actresses and models there in that market. And then I had some opportunities to travel. So here I am out in Utah, and I started making some bank, as I like to say. So all of that from just sitting on my butt, editing some funny pictures, right? Just minding my own business. And then I had some cards on me. Now, in my case, it doesn't have my contact info for a resume. That's not what the card was for, but it had my phone number. And yes, I always say text because who answers phones anymore, right? And a website, and it had a list of my services. And before you know it, I'm already starting to book clients. So pretty cool gig, pretty cool opportunity. I still do that on the side. I am a teacher, though, full time, but it is something to think about. So again, don't just try one thing. Don't put all 10 toes in that pool on Indeed, or just wait for career services from your school to call you. You need to play your part to actively and proactively start searching for jobs. So I know a lot of that is stuff you probably already knew, but I always find it's helpful to have a reminder or have someone else remind me that there are ways to look for a job, and it's a great opportunity out there. There are plenty of great jobs, but it's just a question of connecting you. So if you need any other help, please don't hesitate to get a hold of us, and we'll do our best to point you in the right direction. All right, guys. Thank you.